to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we live in different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walk a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
Found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me keep on running toes. They gonna take it.
This is what we got to tell.
I've been doing this.
I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. My name is Joe Jordan. Excited about this episode today. We got a good one for y'all. You know, as y'all can see, my bro Tomo was here. He wasn't here on Tuesday. We weren't here on Wednesday. And like I always say, when Tomo is not here, the show is a little different. You know, things don't be in order. When you go back and watch, you can just see some stuff is not in order. All right, but we got a good show for y'all today. We got Carl coming on. All right, matter of fact, we can bring him right now, Tomo. We got Carl right here. Let's get it. All right.
All right. I got you. I'll bring him up. You can continue with the intros.
All right, so we got Carl here. Let me see, Don Tomo here. We got AJ 2K coming through. Yes, sir. Right. All right, so you got the CCC colors on. I see you doing and Michigan State green. All right. So we got AJ coming through on for one segment on the entertaining segment. So make sure you guys stick for that. We got to talk about Bill Belichick. I know on Monday on Tuesday, we brought on Teddy and asked him, is the era over? And it actually is. All right. So we got to talk about that. We got to talk about Dak and Hurts. Does Hurts deserve the same amount of criticism that Dak received last year? And not your average top five is here again, the top five QBs in the playoffs. Before we get into all that, how y'all doing, fellas?
Man, I'm doing good. I know you up in the New England area, so I'm gonna ask you once we start the next topic, like how's it feeling up there? Because it's a bad time. All I can say is the Cowboys went through it. So there you go. You got something you can live off of, Tay. What's going on, Carl?
I'm good, man. Good, man. I just found I might be off tomorrow, so I get to catch my little brother game if I'm off tomorrow. So that's good news there. Hey, look, I'm back for a farewell part 2. I did a farewell yesterday. I'm back for part 2.
Crazy, right?
Evening, right?
Crazy. All right. And two of the greatest coaches in their perspective, you know, in their
respective
sports, right? So before we get into the topic, make sure y'all like this video on 3 different platforms. We got streaming this on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. So make sure you like on all 3 platforms. Share the video on all 3 platforms so people can come on and join and watch live with you. Subscribe and follow if you haven't done that yet. We're looking to up subscribers. I know we hit a great milestone, blah, 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 but we got to keep pushing, got to keep moving, all right? Use our comment section. We can see all the comments y'all will be putting down throughout the show, all right? Shout out to Teddy. We know Teddy going to be here bright and early, you know, a gloomy day. He's right. There you go, Tomo. It's a gloomy day in New England right now.
Oh, see, I was going to be nice.
All right. You think shout out to Cowboys already? All right. So, but yeah, so, you know, use that comment section. We're going to put them on the screen. But if you feel a little good, you can throw a little donation and send a super chat in. We'll skip you in front of the line, put the comment on the screen, pause everything we're doing, hold up, and read whatever you got to say because we appreciate all the donations and the gifts. Gifts. And last but not least, enjoy the rest of the show. Tomo, floor is yours.
I know you said it was a gloomy day. See, I told you. See, I was gonna be nice. Teddy, now I gotta rewrite my whole script, man. It's crazy. But Dave not here. You know, I ain't trying to get put in the doghouse, Joe. You gotta remember when Dave not here, we still gotta
me up.
man. Carl, you over there talking to somebody?
Chill out, bro.
Oh, I'm just saying, man. I see. Thought you was talking to Bill Belichick. But anyway, New England, 24 years, man. Talk about a guy who started with the Browns. Well, no, he started with the Giants, I think, as an assistant coach. Then he moved on to the Browns.
Yeah, he was on the Giants.
Yeah, because he had Lawrence Taylor. You know, that's a great player.
Super Bowl.
Some would say Michael, never mind. Then you think about the Browns. He was in Cleveland. They was like, should he be the head coach? Was he the head coach? I think that team sucked too.
Nah, he was there like when I think that was 95 when they almost had that season when everybody made the playoffs and then they found out about the move and like the season collapsed. I think he was there for that.
Oh, the Mayflower.
Oh, look what y'all did, man.
And then right after that, guess what else happened? He ended up in New England and he found some stringy kid from Michigan who can like help him. Oh, actually, no, a guy got hurt. Then he came in and started making plays. And then next thing you know, a dynasty was born. A couple tight ends. We're not going to talk too much about those because we know where that goes. Some great defensive players and one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We talked about him earlier, about him being a string. We're not talking about that right now. Stringy kid. And then he becoming on the GOAT. But Belichick is now out. Joe, I don't know why you want to ask this question because you're a Commanders fan, but we're going to do it. Of course, we're going to react to it. But what do you think is the best destination for Bill Belichick?
Okay. Best destination? It's crazy because I don't think how about this? The best, he needs to go somewhere where he can win right now. All right? Let's start there because he probably got what, like 4 years left, 5 years left? Because like, how old is he? You said, Carl? 72? 72 years
71,
old.
71. I think Nick Saban 72. I think Belichick 71.
71 years old, right? So he don't have a long-term career at the Patriots. But I do think him parting ways with the Patriots is the best thing that can happen for his image. You know why? Because he wasn't going to win a championship, a Super Bowl with the Patriots. We all know that based on their situation. So he has to validate his career, which is crazy to a lot of people, by winning the championship Super Bowl outside of Tom Brady. Because everybody's saying Tom Brady's the reason when the first 3 Super Bowls, Bill Belichick was a leading force of that, right? That defense was. But we're not going to talk about that. But before I go into that, I do want to say this, right? I do think Bill Belichick is arguably the best coach in NFL history. I know we came on here before and talked about Belichick. I know I said he has to prove himself because Tom Brady record without him, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he groomed Tom Brady. All right. Like Tom Brady was a late draft pick. And if he would have landed anywhere else, do we still think Tom Brady would be who he is today? And Belichick handpicked Tom Brady. And the fact that Tom Brady was a low draft pick, he was able to coach Tom Brady like he was a low draft pick. And you coach Tom Brady like that, guess what? Everybody else is following the line. And Tom Brady fell in love with winning Super Bowls. Why? Because Belichick put that boy in a situation when he can win Super Bowls early in his career. And they went on a 10-year drought without it. So he remembered the first 4 years when they won 3. So he developed that love of winning Super Bowls. And I think Belichick has a lot to do with that. So we got to give him a lot of credit for everybody trying to take credit from with Tom Brady. So, but best destination, I think is this, y'all. I think the best destination is not available right now, but if they don't succeed, it will be available. Buffalo. I think Buffalo will be a good destination for him. That he can win right now. Huh?
That's going to be a gift. The FJA, we both made a face like, When you go back and watch, you'll see.
Okay.
No, all right. You probably still see mine partially.
So, yeah, that's what I think. I think Buffalo will be a good spot for him.
Go ahead.
Or Philly, but I don't want that to happen, though.
All right, so I ain't going to lie. If you go to Buffalo, like, they're going to for sure run the ball, and Josh Allen you might succeed for real. So let's not have that happen. I'm going to just say, congrats on a great 20 plus years in New England. I'm not going to take any credit away from what that man has done. That man can scheme up defense like no other. One thing you know about Bill Belichick, he's going to for sure have a great defense. I would say no matter the players, but I mean, yeah, no matter the players. We all remember what COVID, when half them players sat out, still had a great defense. He still was putting pieces together and the defense was making plays. So just a great defensive mind to Bill Belichick. Now, my answer is going to be out of the available jobs. And I got to give a shout out to my coworker, CJ. He said the Chargers. And at first I'm like, nah, I wouldn't stay away from that. I said, nah, if y'all was him, I would stay away. But now I really got to thinking about it. Like the pieces he has on defense, he can get those to be cohesive. Then you got Herbert. Maybe you have Austin Eckler. I'm not sure if he's locked in. I think he's a free agent coming up this year. So you possibly have Austin Eckler. You possibly have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnston gets another year. Hopefully he can improve because this rookie season was not good. Josh Palmer, who was actually a bright light in LA. Gerald Everett. So he got pieces to work with. I think the Chargers would actually be a really great destination for Bill Belichick. So shout out to worker CJ. I got to text him and be like, look, I used what you told me today at work because it actually do make sense when I thought about it.
Yeah, shout out to CJ and shout out to Joe and shout out to you, Carl, because I'm gonna say shout out to Coach because I'm about to do something y'all never thought I would say. His best destination, the couch. What else is there for this man to prove? I know what you said earlier, Joe, about him having to win a Super Bowl or try to get over that ego machismo of not winning without Tom Brady. But, bruh, you're 70-something years old. We literally seen what happened with Zappy and Bailey. Do you really want to go through that again? I like the Chargers. You're right. You're right. Bailey Zappy. You're right. I couldn't even think of the other guy. I couldn't even think of the other guy. Oh, it's Jones. Mac Jones. See, Teddy? But after 9 conference championships, 17 divisional titles, 6 Super Bowls, like your history is cemented. What more do you need to prove to the league? Like the game doesn't owe you anything, Bill. Go home, enjoy your family, enjoy your grandkids and your kids. Or you just go be an announcer. He don't even have to do that. Go to the couch and watch football. I think it's time for him to just relax.
It's funny. Both Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were told to go home to their families.
Yeah, I know, right? Now look, the Chargers. I think it's a good destination. I just don't think that'll be good for Justin Herbert because the dude he's been going through offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator. So Belichick comes in. This how they do win. That'd be good for his career, and then he dip out again. Then now Justin Herbert has to start all over again. You know what I mean? So
ain't got nothing to do with Bill.
It wouldn't nothing to do a Bill, but if I were the Chargers, I wouldn't go get Belichick. I would go get a coach that can run with my young quarterback, Justin Herbert. Now you could probably say the same thing about Josh Allen. You know, Josh Allen being young and all that good stuff. But they've seen Josh Allen and them are there. You know what I mean? They are like, they're number 2 seed right now, and they've been in the NFC Championship and they have been in the playoffs consistently. Justin Herbert hasn't even won a playoff game yet. So Josh Allen now, it's like a door that got a breakthrough. And I really think if McDermott, if they don't win this year, if they don't get out the second round, you gotta move on from McDermott. Even though you just extended him, which is crazy, I still believe that, right? But I think Belichick will be good if he goes there, and they could break through and win a Super Bowl, and he can run out to the sunset.
My rebuttal to that would be he hasn't had a quarterback of Justin Herbert's talent. So that's why he's been running through OC after OC. And Matt Patricia was just a stupid OC signing. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Like, why are you signing a defensive coordinator to be an offensive coordinator? If he can get a really good offensive coordinator to work with Herbert and the pieces of that offense, because they have really talented pieces, they can for sure propel. Like, they made the playoffs. We saw the Chiefs had a down year. They can possibly get in the playoffs next year and possibly make some noise with Belichick leading the helm. Now, I kind of want to counter what you just said about Sean McDermott being fired if the Bills don't get past the second round. What if Josh Allen is the reason they don't get past the second round like last year? Like, we can't just keep blaming the coach for the quarterback throwing picks and not getting in the end zone.
Time out. Is that the reason why they don't get far every year?
No.
Yes. Last year was the only
it's not. It's last year, but that's what I'm saying. If it's consistent, if it's 2 years straight, we can't just say, well, fire McDermott.
Well, obviously, a Josh Allen with context, if Josh Allen go out there and wet the bed and play one of his worst playoff games, you can't fire the coach off that. That's all Josh Allen. But I'm talking about them hitting the ceiling like defensively, like they've been doing in the past. Defensively, they couldn't, hold off in the playoffs. But I'm not saying Belichick is going through offensive coordinator. I'm talking about the Chargers. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Chargers going through offensive coordinator. And so I think, you need to put Justin Herbert in a stable situation. Now, Jalen Hurts, so in the comments, is going through the same thing. But Jalen Hurts is probably one of the perfect QBs for Belichick, in my opinion. The way he carries himself, the way how he is. I think if Belichick goes to the Eagles, they instantly will turn around because they have the weapons defensively. They just have the wrong play caller, So yeah.
Yo.
Hey, no, I was laughing at Herbert graded me less than Wentz.
Yeah, no, both of these comments wild. Oh no, he wild. He right on that one. Of course, we know that one. Yeah. But yeah, so that's all I gotta say about that.
All right, I mean, at the end of the day, you talking about a coach that just came out and told everybody.
We talked about this all week. Everybody do your job. Okay?
Hey, Tomo, speaking to your job, you know how people say another thing. I'm bringing Tom Brady again. Tom Brady, he's been clutch. He's the reason. All Tom Brady did was what? Do his daggone job. He the QB, right? It's his job to make those plays in the club. He put him in position to do that stuff. So all I've been hearing all day is either people. First of all, I'm surprised all the praise he's been getting all day. I ain't gonna lie. It felt like the dude retired. Like he's not retiring. He's still coaching. He's still gonna coach next year. Yeah, I mean that's what everybody's assuming. I thought the man passed away. I thought something happened to him bad. The way they was talking about him. But I was surprised about that. And people keep saying also we're never gonna see this again. Come on, man. That's not true. All right. We all thought we never seen anybody break the scoring record. Somebody did. We all thought nobody would do a lot of things like the passing record, all that stuff, but people do it. So people involved. So I do think we'll see it again, but I just want to say that real quick.
Okay. I mean, we might not see it again, but that don't mean it won't happen again.
What? I'm gonna be here for a long time, Carl. God willing. All right.
We've yet to see an undefeated team. It's been 50 years.
Undefeated team. They lost in the Dago Super Bowl. They're talking about 6 rings in 20 years. That's what they're talking about.
I know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is 6 rings in 20 years is hard to do. Like we haven't seen no undefeated in 50.
It's a coach and a player line that are doing it. I mean, Andy Reid and Mahomes already got 2.
He got 4 more to go, and he not young.
Yeah, Andy Reid not young. Yeah, he and he like 70 also. Probably late 60s.
That's crazy. The Eagles wasted that man good years. But I'm sorry. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. But I don't know. If he retired, I wouldn't be upset. As long as he don't go to him in Philly. Let's go to the next level. It will, because both of them. So all they're gonna do is give you one quotes in the press conference. So if I'm Philly media, I don't want that to happen. AJ backstage laughing because he knows it's true, but we can like on the Dallas. Nobody want to hear that in the NFC East, man. Spice it up. Then next thing you know, Jalen come in and be like, yeah, as a team, we got to be better. We got to, just come up with some crazy quote. Ain't nobody got time for that, man. Then we got here, Kev. Nah. Hey, Bill, you're done, son. Sit down, enjoy your family. You did what you had to do. And as we move on, they're going up in the comments. They are turned up. So if I knew that was going to turn them up, I know this next question will get them turned up. So we're going to bring AJ up.
Hey, Tom, I got you, man. I got you on this one.
Oh, okay.
Right? Go and relax, lay on your hairs, you know what I mean? Just chill. Take your hair. Oh, we took the headphones off to that. Oh, okay.
Oh. Tomo committed.
Here we go.
All right. So look, y'all, man. Y'all need to join these. First of all, what's up, AJ? How you doing, man?
Good, man. How y'all doing?
Man, we got you up, man. You feel me? You here? AJ 2K. Full time out. So look.
Yo, I gotta look at you. Also, I thought I was on mute.
Y'all gotta click the link in the bio right now. If you haven't clicked the first link you see in the bio, become a member, and you need to join these IG chats. So we had an interesting conversation yesterday in the IG chats about another show. AJ brought it to the table, and we had a conversation about Jalen Hurts, and then something just dawned on me. I'm like, you know what? we was comparing Jalen Hurts, and then we talking about the Cowboys, from the Eagles, how this person talk about the Cowboys, how this person about the Eagles, how you talking about Dak. And I'm like, you know what? I got a good question for the show. Hey, AJ, can you make it today? No, I'm about to come tomorrow. I'm like, all right, back. Put it, pencil it down, And then they hit me up and said, hey, I reached out to AJ. I'm like, oh, scratch this question. We're going to throw this one back in there. All right. So we all know Dak Prescott. He missed 5 games. Kevo put it in the chat, right? Missed 5 games, led the league in interceptions. Now we turn around, we see Jalen Hurts. Last year, he did not turn the ball over at all. They started off 10-1, took a nosedive at the end of the season, went 1-4, right? Went 1-4, lost to the Cardinals and the Giants.
Like 1-5, somewhere around in there. 1-5.
1-5. Oh, I appreciate your honesty. All right, 1-5, and didn't lead the league in turnovers. Another guy we just talked about a little bit before. Did that, but he was up there in the turnover rate. So we want to know: should Jalen Hurts get the same criticism? Because Dak got destroyed. All right, he got killed last year for what he did. He's not known for being turnover prone either. So should Jalen Hurts get the same criticism that Dak received last year? And y'all, those who watching, me and Carl going to just sit back and watch and let these guys go at it. So
Mute my mic.
Go ahead, AJ. We're gonna kick it off with you.
Let me start. My answer is hell no. I don't know if I can say that, but I'm gonna say it. Hell no. Jalen Hurts does not deserve the same criticism that Dak Prescott received last year. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, because it's frustrating hearing, people compare the two in that regard. Well, even Dak getting compared to other quarterbacks. Oh, he had 20, however many turnovers. And, when it happened with Dak, we killed Dak. There are reasons why Dak caught the criticism that he caught. And they are bigger than just that one season. Dakota Prescott is 30 years old. He's a seasoned vet. He's been in the league, 8 years now. The Dallas Cowboys have had expectations to make playoff runs year after year after year since he's become a starter. Now, some of those years hasn't been his fault that he didn't make a playoff run, right? But the last two you can directly say, yeah, Dak is probably the reason why they didn't get past where they were supposed to get past, or at least get to an NFC Championship game. Everybody knows the stat. Dallas Cowboys haven't been to an NFC Championship game in 28-something years, right? Dak Prescott was supposed to come in and change that. You came in, you got Dez, you got a great offensive line, you got a solid running game. You transitioned to having CeeDee Lamb. We got a super chat.
Yeah, man, you cooking. I was waiting for a while, but I'm going to throw that thing out the way.
Okay.
All right. Shout out to Tyrone Parker, TYP. Tyrone being a member for 6 months. Shout out to the Best Sport Network. Shout out to 4 Time Out Podcast, AJ's, one and only. Shout out to the Best Boxing Podcast in the red corner. Hashtag Eagles is trash. Continue.
Yeah. So he was supposed to be the guy to come in and transition, take over for Tony Romo and change that. You had Dez Bryant for a period of time. You transitioned and you had the offensive line. When he first started, his offensive line was great. Then you transition to having, now you got CeeDee Lamb. You had a prime Ezekiel Elliott. Tony Pollard in his prime hasn't been as great this year, but still a really good back. Defense as of late, maybe not in past tense, but the last 2 years, defense been elite. Top 5 in turnovers. Last year, there was a top 12 defense. This year, they're a top 5 defense. You've had a lot of things going in your favor, but yet and still, he hasn't been able to get those guys to an NFC Championship game, let alone a Super Bowl. Not only that, he hasn't been an MVP. He hasn't been an All-Pro. And so I think that's a big part of the reason why people talk about Dak the way they talk about Dak, on top of the fact that he's a Dallas Cowboy. And naturally, you're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys more than you talk about anybody else. In the case of Jalen Hurts, last year, Jalen Hurts went to the Super Bowl. First off, let's rewind. His first year as a starter, he carried his team to the postseason. The team wasn't supposed to win more than 4 games, but he got them to the postseason. The following year, they went to the Super Bowl. He was second in MVP votes, and he was an all-pro quarterback. This year, he was not what he was last year. We know that. I'll acknowledge that. He's turned the ball over at a rapid rate. The Eagles have dropped tremendously since last year. It's a lot to come back after going to the Super Bowl and do the same thing that you just did. It's no excuse. It's facts. But you get to a point in your career, and I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is all the way there yet, and I'll pitch it to you, Tomo. He's not all the way there yet, but you get to a point where we're not going to judge Lamar Jackson the same way we will judge Dak Prescott or other quarterbacks in the league if he doesn't, get it done or if he has a bad season. Why? Because he has a certain resume now. When you've made All-Pro, when you've been an MVP, you've been to an NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl, I'm not going to look at you the same way at age 25 as I'm going to look at Dak Prescott, a guy who's supposed to have been and done all this stuff and is just now looking to do those things. I'm not going to look at him the same way as I would look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts hasn't had a great year, but I'm not going to look at him and say, why aren't we bashing Jalen Hurts the same way? Because he's 25. And even at age 25, he's done more than Dakota Prescott has. I rest my case for now.
Joe, ask the question again.
Does Jalen Hurts deserve the same amount of criticism that Dak received last year?
Hey, Tomo face, he about to set it off.
The same amount of criticism that Dak received last year. So let me ask this question, because I think, AJ, you went over some of these things. They call him AP Hurts, right?
Correct.
He got an MVP vote. He was in the MVP conversation, right?
Correct.
He made it to the Super Bowl. Made plays in that Super Bowl. Defense let him down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year was his second year with the same offensive coordinator. So he finally had some consistency, on that coaching staff.
Right.
You had the defense they was just running after the quarterback, getting to him left and right. Couldn't do nothing with that Eagles team. That RPO was there. They went and got his friend AJ Brown. Then Smitty was finding catches here and there. Couple questionable catches with the Commanders. But then we get to this season, and things don't look the same. The turnovers is there. Both of these quarterbacks not really known for turnovers. But everything I just said about your quarterback is why he deserves the criticism. Tell me one time Dak Prescott has been in the All-Pro conversation. Haven't heard it. Tell me one time he's been in the MVP conversation up until this season. Really haven't heard it. Tell me one time he's been talked about as being a top 5 quarterback. Really haven't heard it. So if you have these expectations, if you really don't have these expectations or not even talked about in these conversations, why is the criticism up here for you, but it's down here for somebody who went and did everything with that expectation? If you are top 5 quarterback, if you were top 3 quarterback, you deserve this criticism. This is why he deserves it. Dak last year wasn't even talked about as being in the top 10. They had Trevor Lawrence, Jay Herbo. They was finding quarterbacks. Some people put Daniel Jones above Dak Prescott because of just last season.
That was crazy, but go ahead.
It was. And this is why you telling me if Daniel Jones is better than this guy, why is he leading the media with picks? Why are you not talking about the Josh Allens or the Hurts, the Mahomes? Like, you need to talk about the quarterbacks that are good. Don't nobody talk about what's his name? Kirk Cousins. Don't nobody talk about him. But yet they say him and Dak are the same quarterback. I don't see them running down on Kirk Cousins was he not playing good. So those expectations that you really don't place on Dak, why are you criticizing him like he has those expectations? That's all I'm saying.
They are, because his expectations, Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys, has been to get to the NFC Championship game at least for the past 6 years. They've been Super Bowl contenders at least for the past 6 years, have they not? They've been in the conversation. 5. The Cowboys have been one of those teams to beat in the NFC for a while. But this is another thing I wanted to bring up. This is the thing about what Dak did last year too. Not only did he do it in 12 games, but this was the thing. Your backup came in and he showed you how to win. Your backup came in and he showed you how to win. Cooper Rush came in there and went 4-1 during that stretch without Dakota Prescott. And some people came in and said, hey, I think he should start. Now, I trolled and said maybe he should, right? But, realistically speaking, I'm like, no, Dak is the better quarterback. We give it to you. Dak is the better quarterback. But he came in and he showed you how to win ball games. Run the football, throw the football effectively, but most importantly, don't turn the ball over. He didn't really turn the ball. I think he only had his first couple turnovers of the season against Philadelphia, the last game that he played. But up until that moment, he wasn't turning the football over. So you go 4-1. That team is winning games without Dak Prescott in the lineup, right? And then Dak Prescott comes in, he's turning the ball over like crazy. One can say you're requiring more of Dak Prescott. One can say the coaching has changed, all of that. I say it shouldn't matter because the quarterback that came in and replaced you, the backup who's not on your level, showed you how to win ball games. So again, when I look at the two, Patrick Mahomes isn't having a great season this year. People aren't talking about it as much because he's Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not trying to compare Pat to Hurts, but what I'm saying is, even though Pat is at that level, you can look at Pat and say, he just won a Super Bowl last year. He was just the MVP of the league last year. He was just an all-pro last year. You can kind of not give him a pass, but you can kind of say, okay, you know, he's accomplished a good amount. We know what to expect from Pat going forward. That's personally how I feel about Hurts. Again, not to completely compare the two, not to say Hurts is Pat, but what I'm saying is when Hurts comes out and shows you what he can do, I've shown you I could be an all-pro. I've shown you I could carry your teams, or not carry, but I showed you I could take a team to the Super Bowl. He's going to have a down year at some point. But what I'm not is an 8-year pro devoid of an all-pro nod and devoid of a Super Bowl berth, or at least an NFC championship berth. I'm not that. So I'm not critiquing him the same way. On top of that, Hurts got the ball throwing the football. He got the ball running the football a ton too. And this year, he's been required to do much more for his team than Dak had to do last year. Because Dak, last year, his team led the NFL in takeaways. Last year, his defense was top 12. And again, his backup came in and won you 4 games. This year, that defense, trash for the Eagles. That defense is not creating turnovers. They not running the football. It is Hurts or we losing. Either Hurts going to have a really good game, we're going to run the ball effectively, we're going to throw the ball effectively with Hurts as of late, or it's a L. So that's why I'm not giving I'm not giving Hurts a pass. Let's be clear. I'm not giving him a pass. I am holding him to a certain standard. Hurts, you got to be better. But I'm not looking at him like I'm going to kill him like he's Dak, because it was more than just last year. It was everything leading up until last year and how he performed in the playoffs.
Man, this is the most peaceful Cowboy Eagles debate that I've had in a long time. So let me go here. You brought up Cooper Rush, right? That was funny that you brought up Cooper Rush, and you talking about he knew how to win. Cam Newton came out a few weeks ago and he was talking about game managers, and he named, Purdy, and he named Dak, and he said these guys are game managers. That's all Cooper Rush had to do when he was here, because the Dallas Cowboys defense can fool you. The first 5 weeks of the season, that's when Michael Parsons he getting after you. And then after a while, that defense started to taper off because people started to come up with different schemes. They like, look, if you run at them, this is how you slow the Cowboys down. Boom. That's what happened in that Eagles game. Y'all found a way to run the ball and get those turnovers. So technically, when Cooper Rush came in, he was only averaging 7 points a game. Literally, if that. The defense was what was holding us down in those games. So I agree with you without the turnovers. Now, we tend to not really think about the injury that a quarterback had on his throwing hand, which was his thumb. So if a quarterback comes back with a bionic thumb, trying to figure out the grip on the football, and he also hearing that people on the background are saying that Cooper Rush needs to start over him, and he like, well, technically, y'all not getting 25 to 30 points without me, so what are you talking about? So he come out there and press it a little bit. I'll give you that. He missed 5 games. He threw 15 interceptions. But if you rewind back to an episode on Monday, I told you how many quarters my man has set out this season so far. So technically, he done missed about 3 to 4 games if you add up all that time with those quarters, right? So the math on that really ain't mathing about the interceptions, because he just showed you that I could miss 5 games and still put up MVP-esque numbers. That offense was still number 1 when Dak got back.
Which is why I can't give him the thumb thing. I'm glad you said that, because I can't give him the thumb thing if he was number 1 overall.
If you can't give him the thumb thing, then don't talk about the interceptions. Because Josh Allen could throw 15 interceptions, and people will talk about the 42 touchdowns that he thrown. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's always a caveat when there's other quarterbacks, but when it comes to a quarterback that y'all deem not top 10, not all pro, not MVP, you all want to place that expectation on him. Now, another thing I want to address is when you say the expectations of Dak Prescott. It's not the expectations of Dak Prescott to get the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. As a quarterback, you should. It's the Dallas Cowboy team that has the expectations, that has the world going crazy. Because when Zeke got there, Joe says it all the time. That was Zeke's team when Dak rookie season. Without Zeke running the ball, you wasn't winning games. Then people forget there was a small segment throughout his career, because technically I didn't want to go back to his rookie season. I just wanted to compare the 2 years. last year and this year. But you went back, you brought it up, so I got to talk about it. I seen this same quarterback go out there with Allen Hurns and Tavon Austin and put up 50 points on the Jaguars, who was the Jaguars back then. Jalen Ramsey, you know, they was roaring back then. So again, this guy that no one wants to place expectations on, but love to criticize, don't make sense to me. Meanwhile, your guy didn't have any expectations last season, got all the accolades. Now this year there is a slight regression, but no one wants to talk about it.
That's not true. Well, we talking about it right now. We talk about it all the time and refuse to lose. And if you were part of Eagles Nation, you've seen all the slander that's been thrown Jalen Hurts' way. But what do you mean by what do you mean by the expectation isn't there for Dak? Because the way I look at it is this: people not putting the expectation on the Dallas Cowboys to be a Super Bowl contender if they don't believe in Dak Prescott. People are doing that because not only do they believe in the defense, they believe Dak is a good enough quarterback that can take you there. So that pressure is on the Cowboys. That pressure is really on him. And like we said, the last 2 years, he has not been able to get you past that mark. And a legitimate argument could be made, and it's hard to refute if you're a Cowboy fan. And whoever that is in the comments, I don't know who this dude is, but at the end of the day, it's hard to refute what we've seen the last 2 years in the postseason. And again, I think that's another reason why it's hard for me at the moment to say I'm going to compare the two, because the playoffs is here and we don't know how far the Eagles are going to go. Yes, a lot of people expecting us to lose in the first round. A lot of people say you might get out of the first round, but then go to the divisional round and lose then. Some people are still saying you can get to the NFC Championship game. We won't know, but I really do think that the combination of Dak's history, on top of the fact that when he got to the postseason, when Dak got to the postseason, he had an amazing game against the Bucks. And then he came out and completely folded against the Niners. If he went out there and dominated or even had a really good game against the Niners, I don't think people would have talked about it as much. But I think he went out there and reminded you about what he did in the regular season and the postseason against the Niners, because that defense stepped up and Dak was nowhere to be found. So it's like, not only do we have the regular season to go off of, but we have the playoffs to go off of, and we have the history of Dak Prescott leading up to this moment, which is why people piled on. I guarantee if Dak Prescott would have went to the NFC Championship game or was more competitive, people would not have criticized him as much for that year. I guarantee it.
Now, I'm going to ask you one question after I go into this. So you said last season, and then Dak went in there. He played the Bucks like a madman. Then he went up against that same 49ers team, right, who made him like – that game was closer than most people expect. So that's why, I give you that. I give you that, because that was Dak's fault. He shouldn't have threw those few interceptions. But not too much changed from that 49ers team that went to Philadelphia and did the same thing to your quarterback.
When in the regular season?
So you kind of the 49ers in all season mode, playoff season mode, all regular season. That's just how they play. Philly had to learn that the hard way. So technically, when the two quarterbacks, I think this is Jalen's first time playing the 49ers, right?
Second. He played them once his first year starting. They lost that game too. But
so he kind of understands what happens when that Niner gang show up, right? But let me ask you this though. Hold on, because you said a lot about my quarterback, and you got two guys on here that like to defend their quarterback.
Okay.
What is Jalen Hurts? Because we seen 2021, first year starting. I know you like to say a lot about the team and how he had to put the team on his back and had to win games. I also seen Dak Prescott in 2019 do the same thing when Zeke wasn't really himself. You know, like I said, that wide receiver core wasn't doing too much because, again, our general manager / owner took away Dak weapons before he paid him. Your general manager and owner said, we're going to give you weapons, then pay you.
That ain't Hurts' fault.
But you see what my man got to work with, and he still make things happen.
That's true. But so like you said,
real question is, what is Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts is a winner. Now this year, again, it's been a rough year, and it happens. And I'm not excusing him for what happened this year. It hasn't been a good year. I said Jalen Hurts was going to win MVP. I said Jalen Hurts was going to be an All-Pro again. I said we're going back to the Super Bowl. At least on this show, I said NFC Championship game because it's hard to get back. So I had certain expectations for Jalen Hurts. He's felt those expectations. They still managed to win 11 games. They still managed to get in the playoffs, and we don't know what they'll do in the playoffs. We just don't know yet. They could get smashed. Don't get me wrong. They could get knocked out. Pause for you, Tomo. They could get knocked out of the playoffs, right? It could happen, right? But then again, you never know. He could elevate, and they could go on a bit of a run. They could see Dakota Prescott in Dallas and maybe beat y'all. We don't know those things yet, you know. But what we do know is first 3 years you've been in the playoffs. One of those years you was an All-Pro. One of those years, same year you went to the Super Bowl, you got your NFC Championship game. That's on your resume, and it's only been 3 years, 25. So I'm not mad at that. And you brought up the whole he knows what it's like to go up against the Niners. Yes, that's true, but legends are made in the playoffs. Legends are made in the playoffs. Everybody tends to, well, the greats tend to elevate their game come postseason time. So if you see the Niners and he does what Dak Prescott did, hey, it is what it is. You got it. Hey, you got to play better. You got to play better. But I'm not going to compare what Hurts did against them in the regular season to what Dak did against them in the playoffs. I can't do it. It's not the same. It's not the same.
All I'm going to say is, look, if you would have put, I can't even do it. I'm going to let my fellas go in, man. I'm going to let y'all join this conversation because we will be here all night because I was going to say some other stuff.
Well, we'll have to continue this conversation another day. All right. So y'all want to get in, you know, like a 30-second, 1 minute last word before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, my 30-second last word is, man, I mean, clearly you see what happens when you get a veteran quarterback with their head on their shoulders and make things happen. You know, he finally taught everybody around him because everybody keeps saying that Jalen Hurts is the real leader in the NFC East. And I'm like, no, you tend to forget that this guy is in Dallas with Jerry Jones and he got to go up against that media every single day. And he just never folded. I mean, to the media. He's folded in some games, but to the media. So this is that one season where he possibly will get some MVP votes, and we're going to see because y'all say a lot about Dak, but Aaron Rodgers only won one Super Bowl too.
Aaron Rodgers got 4 MVPs somewhere around in there. But I
mean, I go back and check the numbers on it.
Hey, I'll end my little soliloquy like this. Jalen Hurts is 25. Dak Prescott's having his best year as a starter now at age 30, 8 years in the game, which is why I'm not going to give him the same criticism as Dak Prescott. But what I will also say is this, like I've been saying all week and like my team been saying all week, everybody's 0-0, right? Everybody's 0-0. The playoffs is here, and expectations might not be as high for the Eagles now because of how they ended the regular season. But at the end of the day, they in the postseason. Let's see what Hurts and them boys do. My boy that messed up his finger. I'm not going to give him that pass. If he play. We're going to see what they do. And if they still go on a run and he come out and ball, what they going to say then? That's all I'm going to say. What they going to say then?
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Go
ahead.
First of all, Link been going crazy in the comments. I'm glad I muted my mic. He been going insane. Secondly, let me
Link is a hater, clearly, but go ahead.
Let me help you out, Kev and Link. Kev is talking about Jalen Hurts while Link is debating for Dak. So they going back and forth and it's not making sense because they're not talking about the same quarterback.
I'm gonna go back and read the comments, man. I wasn't trying to focus on the comments, man.
But I can't wait till this is over and go in the chat. We're gonna continue this convo in the chat. I know we are. But AJ, I'm not sure you want to stick around. We got the not so average top 5. I know you probably gotta go. But,
I do. I got head out, unfortunately. Cool. I do.
All
but thank y'all for having me on, man. It's been fun. It's been fun.
But we want to have a part 2.
Most definitely.
Everybody about full time out also.
Oh yeah, full time out. Every Monday I'm doing full time out. It's an hour-long podcast. Everybody is welcome. All guests are welcome. We've already had multiple people from Refuse to Lose come on. I usually come up with one topic and have people rotate in and give your take on the topic. I'm gonna try to start doing more topics. Like let's do 3 topics and just have people come in and answer the question. Maybe you go back to the previous topic. Maybe you I know you finna do another topic. I want to quickly touch on that before you move on. So I'm running it like it's a radio show. You get really however much time you want to come in, say what you guys say for the next person come on. I start the show saying what I need to say, mainly about the Eagles or about the Lakers, and I end the show giving predictions on what I think will happen that week. So y'all tune in every Monday, and then there's the YouTube links, all that's in my bio. If you want to listen over the radio, theblock105.com, that comes out every Wednesday from 5 to 6. So y'all stay tuned.
That's good. All right, AJ, appreciate you. Go ahead, Tomo.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All right, man. Till I see you in the chats. But
Yes, sir.
finally, Dak Prescott had a good moment on this show, you know. But now we gotta give Joe the floor because we got the not
you
so
going
average
straight to
top 5. Oh no! I got you. We got the not so average top 5 coming up after this commercial break. We know we had. I gotta go back and read the comments. Link, I heard you was going up, and then anytime Kevin there, you know. But yeah, we got the not so average top 5 coming up. It's basically about the top 5 quarterbacks that's in the playoffs right now, right, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so make sure y'all stick around because something about Joe and his list, man, they always seem to start some type of controversy. So hit that like button, share this video, and we'll be right back.
Yo, my name is Lambo Anlo.
This is Dimitri.
This is Ed Hahn.
My name is Daryl Julian, and this is
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we live in different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
Told y'all we'd be back. So I couldn't read too much of the comments, man. They turned up over there, man. Like all I seen was Lincoln Kev, and Teddy here and there. So I told y'all, man, the segment is one of the best segments on Refuse to Lose because this segment right here gonna have you trying to look for Joe in his Twitter comments, man. You're gonna try to find Joe on Instagram. You might want to become a member because of this segment here. It's the not so average top 5. I ain't gonna say too much about it because I'm gonna have a lot to say after it. Maybe not. But take it away, Joe.
All right, cool. Let's get it. All right, so it's just me and Tomo. So it might be it might be a good one. All right. So these are your top 5 QBs in the playoffs right now. Not whoever the best top 5 years this year, top 5 quarterback this year, like the top 5 MVP candidates. We're talking about period. Who are the top 5 QBs that are in the playoffs? All right. And at number 5, Tomo, Jalen Hurts.
Oh, I got you on the video.
Okay, Jalen Hurts. All right. Jalen Hurts is number 5. Now, when I look at every QB in the playoffs, not that many great QBs, Tomo. Not that many great QBs. But what I can say about Jalen Hurts outside of the ones that are not in the top 5 is Jalen Hurts is an All-Pro. Jalen Hurts did lead his team to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts did ball out in the Super Bowl. And I got to be honest, Jalen Hurts, although he's turned the ball over, AJ did say something correct. They are Jalen Hurts or bust. All right, Jalen Hurts is the bus driver of this team. If Jalen Hurts doesn't play well, most likely they're going to lose that game. And at the end of the day, they look so bad, but the team still won 11 games. So he's at number 5, kind of by default. All right, so let's do that. Number 4, your boy Dak Prescott. Now, I gave your boy his props. I'm gonna do it again. This is the best season, in my opinion, that Dak Prescott has ever had. I know he had a year when he broke the record, the Cowboys TD record, all that stuff. This year is better than that year. When I watched that year, it was like, I mean, yeah, he got the touchdowns, but I'm not a believer in that. I don't trust him. All right, and then he went to the playoffs and he proved me right. But this year, I see something different about Dak Prescott. He's actually leading the charge. He's not getting carried by nobody. He is the reason why y'all won 12 games this year. He's the sole reason. All right. So, but what's hindering Dak? Oh, not hindering. What can change Dak's position is what he do in these next few weeks, Tomo. Because that's what really matters in the playoffs. I have to see Dak Prescott, number one, not lose y'all game. Let's start there. Not lose y'all game. And number two, get deep into the playoff. Get to at least the conference championship, the conference game, right? So if he does that, which he should because he has 2 home games, then he can get bumped up into the ladder. But right now, he's number 4. At number 3, Josh Allen. Now, Tom was like, how? Joe, how? You know what's funny? Both of them the 2 seed. They had 2 different years, but both of them the 2 seed. That's crazy. I won't say that. But Josh Allen. Now, we like I said, Dak Prescott had his best year this year. We've seen this season from Josh Allen before, all right? But it's not why Josh Allen is number 3. He's number 3 for number one reason only, Tombo. He has more playoff success than Dak Prescott, all right? He has reached the conference championship. He's been in the league less than Dak Prescott, but have more playoff wins than Dak Prescott. You know? So, and Dak Prescott Josh Allen actually plays well in the playoffs, except for last year. Last year, he had his worst playoff year. It was terrible. All right? So, if Dak Prescott can outdo Josh Allen in the playoff this year, then he go right past Josh Allen in my book. I'm letting you know right now. You can hold me to it. All right? At number 2, sorry, Ty, but Lamar Jackson is number 2. Now, Lamar Jackson is on the verge of having his second MVP. Lamar Jackson is a second most winningest quarterback that's active right now. Second, the last 2 years when Lamar Jackson got hurt, last year they were tied for being number 1 with the Bengals at the AFC North, 3rd in the AFC. The year before that, they were the number 2 seed, but number 1 in the North. So they are winning as long as Lamar Jackson is in the lineup. When he's not in the lineup, they lose. But this year, he's having a great year. He had a better year. His first MVP, the only unanimous MVP, was hindering Lamar from being number 1. He has to win one. I'm sorry. Playoff success. He has 1 playoff win. The reason why he's above these other guys is because he's a 1-time, soon-to-be 2-time MVP. Without those MVPs, Lamar is not on this list probably. All right? Because his playoffs hasn't been great so far. But he's number 2 in my book. I said it before the season, and he's proven it so far. All right? But at number 1, all right, take the biases away, man. It's Patrick Mahomes. If anybody says Patrick Mahomes is not the best quarterback in the league, I get it. You might be recency bias that Lamar is the best quarterback because he has the number 1 seed. But let's be real. Patrick Mahomes went to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, since he's been a starter, went to the AFC Championship game every single year of his career. Patrick Mahomes won 2 Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill. Got rid of Tyreek Hill. Guess what he did after that? Won a Super Bowl, won MVP. The first player to win MVP and Super Bowl MVP since Kurt Warner, 1999. All right? So there you go. Mahomes not having the year of his pedigree, but the playoffs have started, like you said, 0-0. Even this Lamar wins the Super Bowl, there's an argument, but Mahomes might still be number 1, depending on how he looks in these playoffs. But right now, this is your not-so-average top 5, and Mahomes is sitting on top of it.
It became personal with me.
Joe, come on, Joe.
Let's get it.
Come on, Joe. All right, I'm going to ask you this one more time. I understand you went through everything. I listened to everything. I took some notes as well. But again, you said top 5 quarterbacks in the playoffs this season. All right.
Top 5 quarterbacks that are in the playoffs.
Yeah, that are in the playoffs this season.
No, not the period. Top 5.
Oh, this period. This ain't got nothing to do with the playoffs?
No, this is period. Like top. If I had to rank the quarterbacks on this how I'm ranking them right now. Not based on this year only, this period, like top 5.
What one? Okay, that's a loop right there. I'll give you that one. That was a loophole because I was ready to flame on. Because why is Mahomes at number 1? Like, I understand you talk about the recency. I mean, people having recency bias about how he's playing this season. Yes, he is technically the best quarterback, right? On this list, he is. But there's something to say about what have you done for me lately. Like we gotta talk about that because if we're talking about that, I know I just had this debate. Josh Allen can't be number 3 then.
Okay, go ahead.
We talking over, so that's why I was like, if we talking playoffs, Mahomes can't be number 1. But the reason, since you said it's top 5 in their career, they gonna kill me. What has Lamar done in the playoffs? Because some of your arguments for some of these quarterbacks is about how they played in the playoffs. Now we holding this MVP trophy unanimous. Granted, he balled out that year.
Unanimous,
But again, the 3 quarterbacks, there's 3 quarterbacks on here that if they're not playing on their team, they're gonna lose the game. Like I know AJ came on here and talked about Cooper Rush, but Cooper Rush ain't taking the Cowboys to the playoffs if he's starting that whole season. It's not happening. Marcus Mariota is not taking the Eagles to the playoffs if he's starting. We clearly seen what happens when Lamar Jackson ain't there. We haven't seen what can happen if Josh Allen gets hurt. Because that's one thing I will give him. Durability is his best ability right now. He has a good arm. But again, the turnovers. Playoff success, I would say, if we using that caveat, you got to say Dak is 5. Josh Allen is 4. Lamar is 3. Hold on, no. Dak is 5. Allen's 4. Hurts is, Lamar's 3. Hurts is 2. And then Mahomes is 1. If we using that one caveat about playoff success. Because out of this whole list, how many of these quarterbacks been to the Super Bowl? Only 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 of them, yeah.
Out of this whole list.
Won a Super Bowl, though. So he should be number on this list, too?
No, I said we using that, but hold on, let me finish. Because out of this list, we talking about your list right now. We ain't talking about Matt Stafford. He led the league in interceptions. Actually, Josh Allen need to be off the list too, but he hit. So out of this list, playoff success, it's up and down with me because you say some games weren't lost because of Josh Allen, and you say some games were lost because of Dak. Like it's really iffy because I always go back to that Rams game and that Packers game in his rookie season. Like that really wasn't his fault.
Season.
Yeah, that really wasn't his fault. But so when we talk about it, then Lamar got hurt in a few playoff games.
I think he was down
17-7. Sorry, Joe, but so let me ask you this then, because I'm going all over the place with this. Let me ask you. If Lamar wins a Super Bowl, is he the best quarterback in the league?
That's an argument. But I would say Mahomes.
Why is that?
Mahomes been okay. The reason why he's number 1, he's been in the AFC Championship every year of his career. Look at the playoff stats. He's number 1 in almost every statistical category. Look at the regular season. He's been dominating everybody in the regular season since he's been in the league. He has same amount of MVPs as Lamar if Lamar win one, and he has more Super Bowls than Lamar. So I can't just up Lamar over Mahomes because he won a Super Bowl. Can't do that.
Yeah. I was looking at Teddy comment. It's not this year overall. That's what kind of skews the list a little bit. Because you saying this year, that would have made more controversy.
So real quick, Tomo, for those who watching, I did this last year, but I did the top 8 for when they got into the divisional round. I did the top 8, but I did QBs not this year. I said like period, and I had Brock Purdy at 8. Remember that? And they were like, "Oh, you got Brock Purdy at 8." Because he was an 8 best QB. I thought Daniel Jones actually better than him last year, but now I think different. But
I think a lot of people think different.
Yeah,
but no.
Hold on, real quick. So it's not who had the best year. I said it before I even did a count. I said this is not top 5 MVPs. This is not top 5 QBs that play this like they play of this year. This is top 5 period. Only ranking the QBs that are in the playoffs.
I just don't think Josh Allen better than.
So let's break it down. Let me break it down for you. Mahomes number 1. I ain't gotta explain that, right? I already explained that to you. Well, Mahomes has almost everything, over everybody. Playoffs, MVPs, everything, right?
Now that you set the record straight, we don't care about number 1. Number 1, we arguing about
Mahomes, right?
We arguing about 3 on down.
All right. Lamar Jackson, right? Lamar Jackson doesn't have the playoff resume as Josh Allen, right? But with Lamar Jackson or just Josh Allen, and you could probably say Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts. But Lamar Jackson, what he does have, he's about to win 2 MVPs. All right? 2-time MVP. So, sorry, you're above him. All right? Because it's not like Josh Allen made it to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts made it to the Super Bowl, but I mean, the first 2 games, Giants, you know how I feel about the Giants and the 49ers game. I mean, it is what it is.
That's why I said 3 on down, we got something to talk about. But
okay,
I'm letting you
Josh Allen. Josh Allen and Dak Prescott. All right. Yes, Josh Allen, turnover prone. Dak is not turnover prone. But Josh Allen, more consistent, far as like, no, I'm not saying more consistent. Josh Allen has been a driving force for his team all these years. Like I told you, this is the first time I've seen Dak Prescott been a driving force. But let's forget the regular season. Forget the regular season. Throw it to the window, all right? Because none of them got an MVP. They both finally, Dak finally is MVP candidate. Josh Allen been there before, all right? In the playoffs, Josh Allen been here less than Dak Prescott, has more playoff wins, and last year was the only time I said, you know what, this is the reason why they lost, Josh Allen. Last year. Dak Prescott, not only last year he was the reason why they lost. The year before that, the reason why they lost. And do I got to count the year when they could have made it to the playoffs against the Eagles and he wet the bed that game too? But I'm not going to freak on that, all right?
Week 15, Joe.
that was a playoff game.
He threw the ball to Tavon, but he didn't catch it. Who fault is that?
I mean, he overthrew somebody too, wide open.
That's what I'm talking about. That was Tavon.
He didn't catch it. How are we gonna catch it? He overthrew him.
But see about that game though, the context, Joe. He overthrew him, but he still got the first down to go down and score.
But then he only got 9 points the whole game.
Hey, if your defense you see what the Eagles going through. If your
defense
17
points, that's it. He only had 17 points.
The defense,
but that's not a game. The last two playoff games, Dak has wet the bed. Dak had the best offense in the NFL winning against the 49ers as a wild card and lost.
Who had the best defense?
Who, the 49ers? Only they had the best defense.
That first season, they was the number one in defense. The first, when they played them in Dallas, because there was a running thing. It was like, first it was a rivalry, but then they also saying, ooh, Dallas got the number one offense, but the 49ers got the number one defense. So this is going to be electrifying. And then Kellen Moore did Kellen Moore things. But continue.
Yeah. So they didn't perform as number one offense at all that game. All right. And they lost. So that's why I have Josh Allen. What I said about Josh Allen and Dak last year is the same thing I'm saying about this year. Now, Dak could rewrite history with this playoff run, but he has to perform in the playoff. If he goes out and loses in the second round and Josh Allen gets an AFC championship game, I mean, come on now. Like, it's going to be like, all right, here we go again. Here we go, right? And the reason why Dak is above Jalen Hurts' resume is not long enough. He did go to the Super Bowl before. Yes, he did become All-Pro, but Jalen Hurts really only had one good year. That's it. One good year. And you said some key in the debate, Tomo, with expectations. Because last year, no expectations. People actually saying that he's not the guy. He's the weakest link on the team. This year, he's the guy, and look what happened. These guys don't look good. Now, the defense is playing bad, woo-woo, but he's not, like I always tell AJ, if he's this guy, he should be able to overcome some of these problems they're going through. But he's not doing that. So he's at number 5 by default. I'm not putting Jared Goff over him right now. I can't put Matthew Stafford over him. I just can't do that. All right. And who else is available? I mean, really, let's think about it. Baker Mayfield. I mean, who else? Joe Flacco.
But that's one of the things that's why I said that debate with AJ could have carried over into a whole nother segment, but we had to go to the top 5. Because I'm like, think about the quarterback talent that you're going up against with that long drawn out career. So technically 5 and 3 one went up against Brady. Josh Allen had to play against Brady, but he never had to play against Brady in the Super Bowl. So when you talk about playoff success, think about the quarterbacks that one of these quarterbacks had to go up against. He had to play Aaron Rodgers a few times. Well, Jimmy Garoppolo, we ain't gotta say too much about that. But he also played Matt Stafford, played Purdy. But sometimes the talent that you got to go up against in the regular season too. Like, these guys didn't have to go up against those gauntlets of quarterbacks. Like, you look at this list, like you said, at 5, and then it just falls off. Now, some people can argue Goff or Stafford. There's some more other quarterbacks out there, but I can't think of them right now. But yeah, so for me, career-wise, you got to put Hurts above Allen. I hate to say it, but he went to the Super Bowl. If you're gonna use Lamar Jackson's MVP as a reason to have him at number 2, one of the reasons to have him at number 2, he didn't get it yet, Joe. We got to talk about right now.
Okay, he didn't get it, but
we got to talk about
it.
I know that, but we gotta talk right now though. So
he got it.
Nominated MVP
because
like
I'm
a Grammy.
counting Dak's Tom, real quick, I'm counting Dax this year, putting them above Hurts. Remember last year I said Hurts is above Dak.
That's another reason why I said the expectations need to be. I mean, he need to be criticized more because everybody coming out saying he was the better quarterback. However, in this sole topic here, if we're talking about Lamar being unanimous MVP and potentially going, well, technically he got it in the bag of being two-time MVP with no weapons. He is the driving force. He is the Ravens. He's the mascot for the Ravens. Like if he leaves, they might as well take the bird off the helmet. That's how much Lamar is that team, that franchise, right? But one guy did go to the Super Bowl. We can talk about playoff success. We can talk about what Josh Allen did against Mahomes and, Burrows and the great quarterback. I mean, the great overtime game. But one of these guys did go to the Super Bowl. Like, I got to give him that. But no. But I got to give him. He won AP. Like, he balled out that season. Like, that was a crazy. And he went up against Mahomes and technically did Josh Allen-esque things, but did he turn the ball? He fumbled.
Well, if you won't put him above Allen, he got to be above Dak Prescott too.
That's why I said it's you're making me conflict, but if you're going off Lamar's MVP, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got me fighting myself, Joe. I don't like this. Because technically, Dak last 2 years in the playoffs, I can't defend that. That was his fault. I'm mad at Trayvon for not hitting Kittle when he could have bobbled the pass. But it is what it is. There's a lot of people you can blame, but at the end of the day, the quarterback is the person in control when you need 6 points on the board. And he couldn't do it.
And hers 3-1 against this year. That's funny. But
he got spanked though. I don't know what I'm gonna say.
I know that one he got spanked. The margin of victory is plus minus. It's like, no, it's not good.
Actually, no, you could. Dave might kill us. You could have put Purdy up here.
Nah, I ain't gonna put Purdy up there. Purdy, nah.
Purdy not top 5?
Nah, he ain't top 5.
Over Allen?
Nah. Purdy's not top 5. He's not top 5. Now, he was an MVP candidate based off how they vote, but Purdy is not a top 5 quarterback in the league. He's not. He probably not even. I gotta think about it, but he's probably not even top 10. I gotta think about it though, right? And I normally don't do this, but I got to time. I gotta do time. I'm sorry. Link, chill. Even Tom might tell you to chill. All right.
What?
Lamar is better than Dak Prescott right now. Okay. Let's not even talk about it. He brought a completion percentage. Justin Herbert has a better completion percentage than Dak, than Josh Allen, than Jalen Hurts, than Lamar Jackson. Probably better than everybody except for Mahomes. But it's Justin Herbert, the second best quarterback in the league.
Oh, Link said what?
Yeah, he said Lamar Jackson. He said Dak is better than Lamar Jackson. As a passer, he might be. Yeah, but we talking about as a quarterback, as a football player, Lamar Jackson. I'd rather have Lamar Jackson.
Lamar is better. As a football
player, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson on my team. Yes. Oh, hey, J-Mo, we talking about quarterbacks in the playoffs. Burrow not in the playoffs.
See, that's why I got confused, Joe. Hold up. So, you talking about active quarterbacks? These are your top 5 people this year actively in the playoffs.
Yeah, the top 5 quarterbacks are in the playoffs. I did the same thing last year, though.
Hold on, now I'm confused. Wait.
I'm not counting people who are not in the playoffs. Like Matthew Stafford's in the playoffs. Jared Goff's in the playoffs. We are ranking the top 5 QBs that are in the playoffs.
Oh, well, then this list is wrong.
How?
Because you said top 5 in the playoffs, right? Hold on, give me some more detail because I'm confused, yo.
Look, all right, take all the QBs.
Yeah, there we go. J-Mo said it. Yeah, I thought it was period.
Period. Top 5
See, you
top 5 QBs that are in the playoffs. Top 5, period. But we only ranking the QBs that are in the playoffs.
Okay. All right. Now, yeah, because
me
and J-Mo was on the same pages now, because that's why I was like, if you saying in the playoffs, then this list is wrong.
And that's why I kept giving reasons how people can get ahead. Like, Dak can get ahead if he does this. Josh Allen, if he, Lamar, if he, so we're not talking about Burrow can't up his status right now. He's not in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence can't up his status right now. He's not in the playoffs.
I was, man, because I thought we was talking. He said period. Then J-Mo started talking about playoffs, and I'm on the same page with J-Mo.
Listen, J-Mo, we only ranking
hey, J-Mo, we
only ranking the QBs that are in the playoffs, but we're talking about ranking these guys, these pool of guys, period.
Okay,
and that's why I said Go ahead.
Top 5, period. But we pulling from the pool of active playoff quarterbacks.
Yes, because nobody that's not in the playoffs, they can't up their status. They not in the playoffs.
So
What
then
can
it's
Joe
not
Burrow do to up his status right now?
technically.
That's why I
then it's
kept
not
saying
period.
Dak can go for it if he does this. Lamar can go for it if he does this.
But then technically it's not period though, Joe.
But of course, it's not career. Look, you know how we rank QB? We go into the season. Who are your top 5 QBs right now? It's never based off last year. It's never based. Sometimes people go over the last 2 years, last 3 years. But these are my top 5 QBs going into the season. These are my top 5 QBs going into the playoffs.
Yeah, Joe, we gotta go back to etiquette class, man. I gotta teach you how to set the table, man. You set the table all wrong, man. That's what. But I got it. From what I understand about the list, I'm with you. My only pushback is the 3 through 5. That's my only pushback. But if we talking now, J-Mo, if we on the same page and we only talking playoffs, my list is Lamar, Dak, Hurts, Mahomes, Allen.
If we only talking
just
playoffs,
playoffs,
MVPs don't matter.
that's where I was going with it. Because I was like, how they played this season and where they at in the playoffs. These are the best quarterbacks in the playoffs right now.
All right, look.
Not period.
Everybody go back and watch how I open up this segment. And when you pay attention, you'll understand. I said it's not top 5 MVPs. It's not top 5 this year. These are the top 5 quarterbacks, period, that are in the playoffs. That's exactly what I said.
But no, I kind of understood where you was coming from, but I'm glad J-Mo was as confused as I was in the beginning. Because remember when I started rambling, I was like, wait, hold on. I don't know where to address this list. But now I got a clear understanding. Lamar is number 2.
And I did the same thing last year. Literally last year, I did the same thing.
That shows you the league is regressed if you can't even do 8.
Yeah, because we only got 5 spots, so you know what. And then it's right now it's daggone 12 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So next week, I could have waited one more week and did 8, but
well, we're gonna revisit this next week because y'all talking about to lose to the Steelers, and we're gonna have to talk about that.
All right.
Because why Tua not up there?
Tua, no. Who Tua better than these guys?
Tua better than Hurts.
Okay, hey, debate that with Adrian or Kevo. He watching. All right, let's wrap this up, man. It was fun, like always.
Man.
All right, so my last words is shout out to the whole network, every show, FFC, CTC, RBO, Dave Doghouse, Kings Talk, In the Red Corner, everybody. All right. So make sure y'all subscribe to all those channels. You go on our page on YouTube, scroll down the homepage, you will see all the channels right there. You could just click subscribe. Next, subscribe. What we're gonna do, Tom, we're gonna put everybody's link in the bio too. We should do that. Link everybody's channel in the bio. Yeah, so we gotta do that too. All right. So a link, you need to click the link in the bio, like Teddy said, because we can't just like wait for you to come on here on the show. You need to be in the chats, all right? Be in the chats because you be saying some crazy stuff. But
actually, I like link on the show. Y'all got Decorous.
Nah, we need a cowboy. Nah, bro, we need a cowboy version. We already got a few Eagle versions.
I don't know. They're missing.
And Ty started turning to the Raven one. Now, if y'all losing the first game, Ty, you're gonna look crazy, bro. Y'all losing the first game, look crazy. But shout out to the whole network. Shout out to everybody in the R2L chat. I'm excited about where R2L is going. And Sacramento, man, or Commanders, we in a great position. We are an attractive organization right now. New ownership, no head coach right now, no GM right now, no. We got a second draft pick. We got a quarterback, but we can get
like
Caleb.
80 million cap space too, right?
Yeah, we got great cap space, but probably the most, right? Cap space. Yeah. So we just attractive. That's nation. The DMV, new arena coming soon too. Woo! About to get real, and might be a name change. I heard that today, Tom. It might be a name change. But they got a lot going on right now. They got to focus on other stuff, right? So 49ers, give us y'all assistant. I'll be happy. The Bears, I get it. They got multiple first and third round picks, but we want the 49ers guy. And Sacramento, De'Aaron Fox. Come on, man. Let's go. You kind of getting there, but we got Philly tomorrow. J-Mo, we got Philly tomorrow. ESPN and Philly. Come on, Fox. We need you to turn up. Maxie, They say he the quickest guy in the league. Show him who the quickest guy in the league. All right. Like the hashtag swiper season. Like the Ben.
Man, I seen Jordan Poole score over 25 points in the last 2 Wizards games. So maybe it was 2023. It was something about that year, 2024. Some people saying it's the Kobe year. So maybe he found his Mamba mentality to score 20 plus or more. I don't know. Wizards, all I need to know is the Wizards need to win on the 15th. That's it. I'm trying to win this mid-off. I'm trying to go undefeated in the mid-off. I ain't got time for it. I've been having fun for almost 2 months. So let's keep this fun going. And message to the Dallas Cowboys. I know we're gonna do some predictions tomorrow, but I will say this. You can look at yourself and say we're in the playoffs for the 3rd time this year. And then you can also look back and say how we went 8-8 for almost 4 years in a row and lost to every team 3 years in a row and lost to every team in the division. So they can win the division while we went 8-8. So 12 wins ain't that bad with 3 playoff appearances. 2 of them was against, ended against the 49ers. But then you got revisionist history coming back up. You got to play the Packers. Everybody's giving Jordan Love a nickname all of a sudden. And now, again, when quarterbacks who don't really know too much about themselves start playing the Cowboys, everybody want to hype them up like they're the next Patrick Mahomes. I ain't never hear y'all talk about Jordan Love all season. Now he's a gunslinger. He could make it happen. So you at home, point differential almost through the roof. Go out there and make something happen. And I heard something else too before we leave. I was reading something. They said that the Super Bowl is in Vegas, and my quarterback just been wearing all LV because he mentally prepared to go to Vegas. So hopefully this don't go out against us. And I heard that Baker may be hurt, so here go the Eagles again trying to get that easy road with an easy playoff win.
But he might got to see out round 2. So
they don't want that work. Not in Dallas. Not in Dallas. With Matt Patricia as the defensive coordinator?
For them to play the Rams got to win, right? Yep, the Rams have to win. That'll be 2 division games in round 2. Woo!
Look at the script. They writing it up as we speak.
There we go. All right, y'all. That's all we have for y'all today, and we'll see y'all next episode.
Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.